Greetings everyone, welcome to the 10th episode of the Lounge Podcast. Day by day we're making progress, we're pushing. It's good. So today we are going to be looking into three issues. It's most likely three issues. It's okay, probably we'll make them more or a few issues some other day. So today it's going to be the Winter Olympics, the school run and Malloti at the end. So the Winter Olympics are going on, and as far as I'm concerned, very few people actually know about this and are exposed to this, because you cannot expect someone to know something that they are not exposed to or they have actually never heard of. So this is what is going on here. We have the Winter Olympics, and there are 2,900 to 2,916 athletes who are competing in Milan. They started from 6 Feb, they're going up to 22. And not everyone is into these sports. It's just very few categories, very few. So I can name a few, and as I get to do the shots, I'll actually show you the pictures of these sports. Most people know that this is what happens, but they do not know the actual name of the sports at the Winter Olympics. So there is biathlon, there is sliding, there is sledge, there is bobsledging, there is large, right? And there is ice hockey, figure skating, skiing. These are the sports being held in Milan. And most of these, since you cannot actually walk on snow, you have to be using pedals, boards like which are a bit longer, and you have those sticks that you will be holding. So you have to power your energy, you have to power yourself to the front. So this is what happens, right? So there's one interesting thing. If you actually check at the numbers, 2.9 athletes. It's not for everyone. Even in the developed countries, it's not for everyone, and actually not all the countries are competing. And for Africa, very sorry on this one, I had to say this one out, but Zimbabwe should have been more exposed, considering that the chairman of the ICC is Zimbabwean, Kes Coventry. So at least just informing the people was actually good, but it didn't happen. But the most interesting part of this Winter Olympics is the fact that the Olympics have a rule of delivering free condoms, and they delivered 10,000 condoms, and in 72 hours the city of Milan, where the Winter Olympics are being held, was out of condoms. So I had to do the math, and 10,000 divided by 2.9 or 2.916, it means in 72 hours everyone used something like 3 condoms per person. It's winter. What do you expect from these guys? What did you expect? It's winter, and yeah, it's probably they're actually having other Olympics other than the Winter Olympics part, because those are a whole lot of condoms, and Jesus Christ. I don't know. They are hyperactive. And the other thing with these guys, I don't know, the Winter Olympians, a few weeks ago they were trending because the skiing guys were using this legal injection. It's legal. in their sporting events. So they were injecting themselves so that their penises would grow by 2 to 3 centimeters. But it wasn't for sexual purposes. It was for competition, because they were using each and everything at their disposal to win. So this is how it works, right? So if you're skiing, you get a suit. The suit is 3D printed, right? And each and every centimeter on that suit is an added advantage. So that means if it's 3D printed, it means it can actually fit to your actual size, right? And you need to increase your body size a bit. So they were then using this injection, hyaluronic acid. They inject themselves, their penises grow by 2 to 3 centimeters, and now they go for the 3D scan with an added 2 to 3 centimeters. That means their suits are going to be that bigger a bit. An added advantage to them. That means they're going to be at an advantage. It increases their chances of winning. This is what was happening out there. So now you can't consider it as cheating, because the drug itself is legal. If you go for a drug test, you would pass. Yeah, people go to huge lengths so that they achieve their goals. And the other time I realized this is on the movie The Day of the Jackal. The guy had to be gay so that he can achieve his mission. Jesus, if we were fighting poverty at these levels, at this extent, that you get to do anything possible to achieve your goal. Please get me right. I'm not saying you have to be gay to get rich. No, I am saying if you have to do anything possible to get out of poverty, going to such length, nobody was going to be poor. Probably were reluctant. You'll be going to the last extent. To the end. So with this winter and condoms, I miss you. One winter, it was just too cold. And you know what students would do in Senga and Neosho? If it was too cold, obvious, most of the guys would bunk lessons. Nobody else would go for the lectures. Nobody. Just a very few good guys would go for the lectures. And it just happened that day, the garbage collectors came, and you know what they do? They're a bit junky or a bit reluctant, so that when they collect the bins, the garbage on top will be left on the street. So the whole of Neosho that day was littered with condoms. The whole of Senganeosho was littered with condoms, and you would wonder, Jesus Christ, what was happening that night? Because it was just extreme sporting. So if you imagine the Guero winter, if it could make students that hypersexual active, what would you do in winter in countries that snow? Okay, that's something else. So obviously they committed to deliver extra consignment for the guys. So now we have to go on to the next issue, the trending issue of that school run, with 42 kids were in a combi going to school, and the combi is only an 18-seater, legally an 18-seater, and 42 kids came out. Okay, so this case The funny part for me is it had to trend because the minister posted it. Tinoma Chakaira posted it, and now the issue had to trend. Now people had to say that this is dangerous. Accidents happen, and imagine the numbers. And because the car is overloaded, it means very few guys who survive and their kids. Of issues here. So in Zimbabwe, does it mean that we eye to something until it's posted by someone popular? That's when we have to talk about it. Okay, everyone who goes to work early in the morning says these things. The Honda Fits, the Nissan AD van, they will be packed with students, probably 25 to 30. And now they are so smaller, but nobody says this and nobody puts a stop to this. And now the parents of the students, it's okay, it's a thing, we see right on doing it, but to be times have changed. In my days, school run, during my days, I don't know, cars were few and mostly would go to closest government schools. Now there's this private school fever and people have to go a distance to school, so there's school run. But the way these things are being done, in this case, it all comes down to the parents, because the school run guys are trying to maximize their profits, so they load more kids, whereas the parent cannot actually afford to pay for decent transport. They just make sure the kid goes to school. It's something else. We cannot be endangering lives, because it doesn't of the day when we lose lives. But anyway, it happened, right? Probably. Now we need to know what action was taken. They said stop. Because those things happen. It just trends for a few days and everyone is back at their normal activities. It was just one case that went viral, but it means 1,000 cases are out there. Our problems do go way deep than we thought. Because now as a society, we just take any option that is there. Any option, and that's it. Zimbabwe, wait. I don't know, man. I don't know. So we go to the last issue. Malonge and the family, Malloti Rose. So the issue was discussed a few years back that she's a wanted criminal in SA in connection to robbery, armed robbery. Then she came this side. She's doing what she's doing. And I really have to say this. Etherton B, no one says, do good and goodness will follow you. Do bad and badness will follow you. So we're looking at Malloti. She's the mother of the M word. She says it all the time. She said it to levels. She said it to DJ, a whole lot of people. And she smokes while breastfeeding. She admitted to taking Bronkley herself, she said it. And probably she's doing so whilst breastfeeding. Zimbabwe, we gave her the platform, and we're looking at this case. How is she influencing the female youth out there? And the funny part is, we keep on embracing her. We keep on bringing her closer. But what are we seeding? Because those things are always going to come back in another form. Social media is powerful than we can ever imagine. And now we are going to have kids who just feel like they just want to be like Malloti. Kids who think she's cool. So they'll obviously mimic her behavior. And what are we going to be having at the end of the day? It's just trouble. Sorry, I've got to say this, but this is the truth. This is what happens. Okay. Rest in peace, Soldier Love. And you were a great musician. So I have to say this straight up. Soldier Love was a very, very great artist, and he was embraced by the ghetto as a musician. On the other hand, he had his issues with drugs. So now his influence now is going deep. It's manifesting now. We're having cases of drugs. We're forgetting that back then we had Soldier Love, who was very popular, who was talented and very good, but had his issues with drugs. So the ghetto youths take everything from these guys without taking, this is good, this is bad. Now we're having issues with drugs. But we're forgetting that we embraced someone back then who used to take drugs, and the world would see it. The same thing we're doing with Silent Killer. Now we're having a drug issue. So the same thing that is happening with Embracing Malloti right now. In a few years' time, we might be having a trend or an outbreak of mothers behaving like, hey, more celebrities saying the M words, casing people. And we are going to see it, Jesus, this is what happened, and it will be out of hand, like always, because we defend people on both ends, their goods and their bad part. We just embrace everything, because I can't imagine in Zimbabwe institutions had to give her a platform to do whatever she was doing. Institutions. And now another country to actually remind her that she's a wanted criminal. I don't know, man. I don't know. But when it comes to our moral issues, when it comes to our ethics, we need to protect the generations that are going to come after us by the things they consume, by the things we show them. Well done on Queen Nadia, but on Malloti, what are we doing? We need to be serious. You said the last time he had issues with levels. out of respect, she's a Zim dance or singer, and do we as Zimbabwean understand the amount of effort and lives uplifted by levels, and we just let Malloti, a Zim dance or singer, do that to levels and get away with it just like nothing happens? Enzo Aisha, you look at Enzo here to sing Handraruk Den Queen Fruit. You take a look at that video and you take a look at his current videos. How he has developed as a person, where he came from. It's because of the chill. Just fantastic. But we let Malloti do that to levels and just keep quiet and continue with our lives. So things like this, they just reflect the type of people we are. These things, they reflect the type of people we are and the things we consume. Then you hear people saying, why doesn't C music go international? These little things, they matter most. To sum up the whole music industry, there's the little things matter. But there's the issues beyond our control, and at the same time, we give these people platforms. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Have a good day.